Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Elias and welcome back to Project Ozone 2. In the last episode, we were working on getting the Tier 2 rocket so that we can go to Mars. And between episodes, I went ahead and made some more dislocation pedestals and the charms of dislocations so that we can actually head into actually head to Mars and do what we need to do. Hopefully get the next tier of Rocket Schematics and get Desh and all that kind of fun stuff. I went ahead and made a dev null, bunch of glowstone torches, and let's get some more cobblestone because I think that would be good to have. And pretty much, I think we're ready to go. So let's go ahead and put some of this stuff down. And there's a little bit I want to talk about before we head over. One, I actually have a ton of black lotuses. So I have a ton of mana. Now, this is a good thing and also a little bit of a bad thing. Because I don't want my system to fill up, but I don't want to void the blacker lotuses. Or the black lotuses, rather. Not the blacker lotuses. How many blacker lotuses do we actually have? Because that's something I'd like to know. 700. So yeah, we have a lot of mana potential. So maybe something that we should set up very soon is terrasteel production. Until we can get the terrasteel plant, which is going to be a while. Terrasteel seeds require Temperio and a bunch of mana steel itself. Temperio requires the Master Infusion Stone, which requires a lot of Zavicio, Netherstar, a lot of stuff. But the worst is this compressed Gaia, which requires a lot of Gaia Spirit ingots. So it's a lot of things that I don't really want to make at this point. So there's that. But we'll get to that here soon enough. Let's go ahead and start fueling up our rocket. And there's one other thing I want to look at because it's going to be important very soon. So we put down our rocket. Let's go ahead and put a bunch of fuel in here. And it will fill up with plenty of what we need, the fuel, so that we can head to Mars. So one last thing I want to look at is something that's going to help us later. We're going to need a lot, and I mean a lot of different stuff. For example, the meteoric iron. This stuff is really annoying to get. I'm going to be honest. There is a very, very small chance to get it another way, which we'll look at here in a second. But that's pretty much the only thing that the moon is super useful for. You don't need cheese ore. However, we're about to head to Mars, which has Desh. Desh ore is pretty useful stuff. Oh hey, you can actually laser drill it. Huh, didn't know that. And this stuff is super useful. We're gonna need a lot of it. And it's used to make not only like the next tier of stuff, you can make armor out of it evidently and tools and stuff, but it's mostly used in the compressed form like everything else. We can make the tier 3 thermal padding, which I don't know when we're gonna need that. We can make the next tier of plates, which we're going to need for the next tier of rocket stuff. And just basically, it's super useful. Now, here's the issue. Dash itself is pretty common, I think. I don't think it's super rare. What is that spider? Evolved giant spider, which I believe is what we're actually going to be going and fighting today. I'm not sure on that. I don't know which version of Galacticraft this is. That is a giant bat. Evolved fire bat. Huh. Evolved gas. Ice slime. Snowman boss? Creeper boss? Oh no, we're gonna have to do the creeper boss probably. I think is the next one. But anyways, we're gonna want something to get all of the ores that we want really easily. And for that, we're going to want the digital miner. So this guy, how difficult is it? This is what I wanted to see. Atomic alloy is not terrible. These guys are easy. A robot requires palladium, so we cannot get that until we go to Jupiter. Alright, well, that tells me exactly what I need to know. Let's go ahead and look at the quest. I would just want to make sure it is in Theta. Where is Mechanism? Yeah, so it's all the way down here. We're going to need the enrichment chamber and a bunch of different quests before we can actually do the digital miner. The digital miner is amazing, by the way. What it basically does is it allows you to auto craft or auto mine specific ores. You can actually filter it, and it will only mine those things in a pretty wide area. So it's super useful. But today we are going to go to Mars, so let's go ahead and get this going. That is the Aether. We need Iota. And we need to kill the three-headed creep. And also get some Desh. A stack of Desh. And then cryo sleep and all that kind of stuff. But alright, so we have cobblestone. Hopefully we don't crash again. We crashed going to the moon, so hopefully it doesn't happen this time. Let's go ahead and jump in our rocket. I want to see our inventory of fuel. Fuel is full. We have... let's see. What was... shift. There we go. Let's go ahead and just fuel up our oxygen tank a little bit more. I don't know why we use oxygen on the overworld, but we do, so we'll get that fixed. Shouldn't be a problem. And we have a dev null for whatever blocks we have, the Mars blocks. And yeah, we should be good to go. We have an unbreakable pick that has silk touch. We're gonna want our item dislocator. And what we'll do is we will... Actually, we can leave that on and just switch those out. Just so that we make sure we have everything ready to go. So, I guess it is time to launch. So, going to Mars. Now, I was talking about the meteoric iron, and the issue with that is we have two options currently to get meteoric iron. We can either use skystone dust, which we're getting, but it's kind of rare, especially with how much we need. Or we can farm meteorites, and that's terrible. Meteorites spawn rarely anywhere, actually, that can see the sky. I believe it has to see the sky. I could be wrong on that, but it spawns basically anywhere. I love the rainbow effect is actually just based on the camera. So we're getting close to space. But there is a third way to get... there's a third way to get meteoric iron, and that is through asteroids, which are tier 3. So we should be able to get it next... our next little trek. Let's see. Mercury is a tier 4. Venus is tier 3. Venus is the next place we'll be going. Then Ceres, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. I believe we need to get to Mercury. That is the main goal. But let's go ahead and get to Mars. Let's click it again. Mars does have moons, doesn't it? Phobos and Deimos. I don't know how to say that one. So let's just go to Mars. Let's launch. And hopefully everything is fine. Let's actually let it load for a second. And we are in a landing balloon, so we'll just bounce around. And it looks like it is close to night, which is not good. But yeah, so we just land here. The gravity is bigger than it is in... So we got a rocket back. Cool. Gravity is bigger than it is in the moon, but it is lighter than Earth / the overworld. So let's just build a house right on this hill, and just basically do the same thing we did before. Now what we can do is, yeah, gravity is much less, but things are starting to spawn. Let's go ahead and get some torches before we have any creeper problems. Creepers are the worst things in this mod pack, so keep that in mind. Don't let creepers spawn. It's just, they're not good. The John Cena creepers are just terrible. God, we really have jumps. And we didn't crash, which is nice. So let's just finish up this house a little bit. And put some more torches down. Now finding the what is it called? The place we need to go is not going to be an issue whatsoever. Because it's not going to be an issue whatsoever. The Galacticraft uses the same terrain generation for each planet, more or less. It's the terrain itself, so like the hills and valleys and all that kind of stuff, and where things are spawned are pretty much the same. The only difference is, honestly, it's mostly where, like, this looks center enough. It's mostly where, like, it's add-ons. So, like, for example, Mars uses the Marsh Stone and all that kind of stuff. It has ice, and I think there's even some liquids. That is a big cave over there. We'll go look at that because it's kind of cool. I know I've messed with Mars before. I've been here in previous playthroughs of different things. So let's go ahead and it is a shift right click, right? Let's go ahead and there we go. We'll put the pedestal there. We just need to put that guy on the pedestal. We have the Mars. Let's right click the pedestal and we head back home. Perfect. So we can go ahead and put the rocket back. I wasted so much fuel though, I will be honest, but I don't know. I don't know if we needed all the fuel that we used or not, but it is what it is. So go ahead and put that there and Mars rock. Perfect. So let's go ahead. Quest book wanted us to just defeat the monster. Okay. And you have to use explosives to beat them. You'll see that when we get there here in a little bit. So let's go back to Mars, and everything seems to be fine. I do want to hit F7 and just see where the darkness is. I don't know why I didn't put that there. We're going to light this area up just a little bit. And our oxygen levels are fine. We're going to be using that dev null soon enough, but let's go ahead and fly over here to this little cave. Is it a cave? It is. So we have some slimelings, which are cool. They are little, just basically little creatures that you can use for different things. They don't really have much use, but it is a little bit of a tameable creature. You can level up and whatnot. And I was saying about the terrain generation. So if we hit journey maps and waypoints and turn this one back on, we have a waypoint over there, and that is actually where the dungeon is. We will go over there and there will be a dungeon. We could skip to the end of the dungeon if we wanted to. The dungeons are all laid out the same. Like I said, the terrain generation is basically the same for every single planet. So every single dungeon, every single planet will have a dungeon on this coordinate. if the planet has a dungeon. There's another slimeling. Yeah, these guys you can hatch, and they're tameable pets, basically. There are big areas in Mars that we could mess with, but I don't know that we need to. So there should be a dungeon right down there. Now the opening to it might not be the same place, but there should be a dungeon there. There are so many mobs because it's night. So let's just vein mine. And we're hungry. There's another slimeling egg. But yeah, so the terrain generation is the same for all of the planets. The only difference is things like... I want to keep a little bit of it. So that's surface, that's subsurface. Let's keep like 3 stacks of each. And then what we'll do is we'll just turn our magnet off and throw them on the ground. So the difference is, oh hey, a slimeling grew and it's dead. I really wish it would become day again, but the main difference is like this planet has a surface rock, then a subsurface rock, and then the actual like core. Let's head back to the base and we'll do a little bit of mining. That'll be something to do. So it's different for each planet, kind of what they look like. For example, I believe Neptune is covered in a liquid. I believe it's like liquid nitrogen or something. So it's just one of those things that you can't really... Where is our base? It is north of here. It's just one of those things that you can't really like describe too much until you see it, but pretty much all of the planets are the same. And that's good because it's going to make finding dungeons really easy, presumably. So far, we're not having too much luck with that one, but we'll hit it in the daytime. And what we'll do is we'll just go back to base. We'll mine down a little bit, and when I say base, I mean like the thing over here. But we'll mine down a little bit and look for some dash, and that will be kind of what we do. So here is my nice lit up area. I do want to make sure that it is perfectly bright. In here, don't want anything spawning in here. And let's just find a corner and mine down a little bit. So now we have the Marsh Stone, and this is what we're going to put into our dev null. And now we should be able to fly up, do something like this, and vein mine. So it is really dark in here. And let's use cobblestone so that we can see where the opening is. But yeah, we still have some subsurface rock. The subsurface rock is almost like gravel or dirt. So we just mine down. I don't know if there's a good way to find out where the dash is. And it is really dark in here. Bit of a cave as well. So let's actually look up the dash ore and see if there's anything that tells us like... Nope, nothing that tells us where it's found. Why can't I fly? There we go. So yeah, we're going to need some dash ore, and right there is some. So we just need to go deeper. Not a big problem. And this is dash. And we have some dense dash as well. This is iron ore. Don't care too much about that. There is a lot of things down here. So let's go ahead and keep mining down. That looks like gold. We have more dash and more things. So more dash. More dash. This is copper, iron. Wouldn't be surprised if we found some like tin or something. So let's mine this way a little bit. And there's more dash. And more dash. So let's kill this spider. And just try to mine all the dash that we can find. Oh, there's a spirit guy. Probably is what I'm hearing. I keep hearing something taking damage. There's more dash. So yeah, once we get the digital miner, getting these ores is going to be so much easier because we don't really have to do anything. We just set it up with power and call it a day. So just looking around, seeing if there's any more dash that I missed. How much we have? 38 plus some dents. That's not too bad. Let's mine this way. There's literally some right there. Nope, creepers. I don't like creepers. There's more. Creeper. They can kill me in one shot, and I don't really want to deal with that. So we got about a stack. That should be enough for now. Let's head up and see if it's daytime, which it seems to be. We got some redstone somehow. I'm not entirely sure how that happened. We also picked up the copper ore, so that's interesting. Just throw all this stuff in there. Alrighty then, so it is now day. Let's head back to the dungeon, and we'll see if we can't find it. So, like I said, there should be a dungeon there, honestly, if we can clear it out, that'd be really nice. And then we're probably not going to worry about coming back here anytime soon, unless we need more dash. So it's really just a matter of getting to Mercury, getting the Mercury ore. There is ice on Mars, by the way, which is somewhat actually scientific. Somewhat. Not particularly known for sure, but at least I don't think it is. So... Oh, we're hungry. So let's see if we can find any sort of dungeon. I mean, theoretically, there should be one right here. So we could just dig down until we find something. But it's looking like this one didn't form. Let's go ahead and eat. And we'll just see if we can find anything or not. If not, then we'll have to find another dungeon. Which isn't a big deal, it's just kind of annoying. It's so dark. There's plenty of ores though, so that's at least nice. We'll get some more dash. Some more over here. Alright. There is a thing nearby, but it's not the dungeon. So we're going to have to find another dungeon. That is a bummer. But honestly, it is what it is. So once again, too hungry. We'll keep getting the dash. And I hear a zombie, but I only see one zombie. We're also getting really close to presumably bedrock or the other side of the planet. There's the zombie. And let's eat. Yeah, no, there's no dungeon here. But right over here is one of the things I was talking about. These are one of the formations. This has bacterial sludge, cavernous vines, and it's just a big open thing. These appear every so often on this planet, and as you can see, there's another one. They appear pretty far down. What is that? Tin. Bunch of tin ore. Let's get some more dash. Don't want the iron. Don't care about iron. Alright, so let's get out of here, and I guess we need to fly around and see if we can't find an actual dungeon. So, that's gonna be fun, I guess. Honestly, maybe using a chunk error could be worthwhile. No. Alright, before we go too far, let's go ahead and go back to our base and set that up as a waypoint. And, yeah, we'll need to find a dungeon. Now, again, it's just like the other one was. In fact, no? Okay. You can usually look at the topography, the way the land looks, and you'll see in the, like, valleys, and especially in, like, this type of stuff, if there's a hole there, that is the dungeon. But not really having any luck so far. Where is... Oops. Alright, a little bit south is our base. So we'll fly around for a little bit and see if we can't find something, but then otherwise we'll just have to do the dungeon in the next episode. So let's just make a quick waypoint here. And I think it's just for Mars, so home. Just so we don't lose it. So it's a little bit easier to get back to. And flight makes this a lot easier to handle than just kind of going around yourself. That is a meteor. So these are the meteors, by the way. They crash land, and you can pick them up, and we can use that to get more meteoric iron a little bit easier. That is a promising area, but it doesn't look like anything's there. That's huge. So we'll just fly this way for a little bit, see if we can't find anything. And if I can't find anything, we'll come back. I will look off camera for a little bit, and we'll come back in the next episode and deal with it. Otherwise, like I said earlier, I want to start automating terrasteel, because we're going to need a lot of terrasteel. I would also like to start working on more magical crops and getting basically more resources in. There is one. There's a dungeon. So yeah, they're pretty obvious. Let's go ahead and waypoint this. You know what? Let's go ahead and say all. Wasn't that? Yeah, here we go. New. Dungeon 2. We'll unenable it, but that might add it to all places, which would be really nice. So this is the dungeon. We need to break that spawner. I don't like creeper spawners. And if we can get underground, we can actually look at the map a little bit more and maybe try to figure out where we're supposed to go. Okay, don't like creepers. Break creeper spawners immediately. And worry about everything else later. So more creepers. We kill them quickly with our crossbow. And worry about things later. Break that. Alright, we need to light that up quickly. Perfect. I like this dungeon brick. It looks really cool, to be honest. And we have our first little bit of treasure. Anything worthwhile? Not really. Let's dump off some of this stuff that I don't really care about. And spiders. Zombies. But yeah, the Marsh dungeon is wet. Also, the boss is right around the corner. In fact, if we don't have a direct access to him, we're going to make direct access to him. But it looks like this is going to turn and go that way, which is what we want. So real quick, let's go ahead and dump off stuff in our inventory. We'll grab more torches. And Ender Pearl. Don't really care about any of that stuff. Here is the boss. So we have a bunch of creeper eggs. And the boss is a giant creeper. Now, it's actually a pretty easy boss if you can find his hitbox. Just reflect his explosions back at him, and he'll die pretty quickly. It's really easy. And there we go. So that is the creeper boss. Let's hope that we get what we need. So these are the creeper eggs. I don't know if you can actually break them or anything. No. Alright, so here is the moment of truth. Dungeon key. We have, that looks like a rocket schematic. It's a tier 3 rocket. We have it. Awesome. So tier 3 rocket, we can now go to the next planet and never have to worry about any of this stuff again in Mars other than Desh. So we just need to get out of here. Should be pretty straightforward. These dungeons aren't super big or anything. They're not super difficult, to be honest. So that is pretty much that. So I will tell you guys what. I'm going to end the episode off here. Next time, like I said, we're going to try to automate TerraSteel and start working on getting some more automation, getting things going a little bit better. So I am going to head home, which is roughly this general direction. And yeah, next time we will start working on whatever quest we can, plus automating TerraSteel. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. The next planet to go to, we have a tier 3 rocket, is Venus. And I believe that's where the spider boss is. If this is the version I think it is of Galacticraft. Otherwise, I don't know who the boss is going to be. Because in the current version of Galacticraft, the Venus dungeon is quote-unquote completed. Whereas in this version, I don't think it is. I could be wrong. Anyways, we're back to our base. So, anyways, yeah, like I said, that's going to be it for this episode. Next time, we're going to hang out at the base, do some automation and whatnot, and go from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye!